Hey everyone, in this video I will be discussing about OOPS, Object Oriented Programming Language. It is basically another approach to write a code. So let's get started. So basically this is the laser pen, okay. So there are four pillars I will be discussing in this lecture in very short time interval. So let's get started. So what is OOPS? So here in this slide we will be discussing what is the definition of this different approach, what I have told you in this video. It is object oriented programming, so as the name suggests, it is written over there. So a paradigm to model a real world entity. So basically we can relate with real world entities while writing code in OOPS kind of paradigms. Basically while writing, when we are writing code in C++ or any different OOPS supporting languages, so there is a different approach. So code organized as an object, data plus function. So what it exactly written, I'm explaining it to you. So basically in OOPS we basically try to organize the code as an object. So in OOPS everything is an object means a real world entity, and the entity have something like it has some kind of datas and methods, and here data is written over there and functions are written, which is also called methods. So what are exactly those things? So basically data are the basically data about that object, and what the function will execute on that object that has been written over there. So there is a, you can just like understand that let's say this is your object, and this object has some name or something else, and what kind of basically its functionality it is performing, it is written over there, and this is the main basic fundamental is an of an object. So let's get started with another slide. So basically in OOPS there are in interviews mostly they asked about what are the four pillars. So pillars are what, these are the most necessary things. Bef- Without this pillar OOPS can't be basically organized or structured. So what are these pillars? So the first pillar is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? So basically wrapping data and functions together. Write a example like class. So here what is written over there? So this is, let's say, your definition for understanding encapsulation. So here we are wrapping the data, okay, and the function into a block or a basically class. So here the data and the function is stored in a container like structure, which is called the class. So that's how this thing is defined. So basically let's move forward and move to another thing, the another pillar. So is this abstraction. So what is abstraction? So abstraction means hiding implementation details. So abstraction means you are hiding some details. So for example, you have a car, then you just go and just press the start button and just go as you want to go, okay. But do you know the exactly what are the internal implementation of the start button? You don't know about that, you just use it. So in programming language or in any software, we basically made the logic, and just we give a function to the user and the function will be executing. But what are the backend things which is written over there is basically hidden, so that it is easy to use that thing, okay. So these are the examples of interface, private and protected. So basically these are the access specifiers. Basically private means a private, in a class it can be accessed only. So this is how, and protected and interfaces, these are the examples of abstractions. Let's move forward with another pillar, which is inheritance. So what is inheritance here? So inheritance means you reuse properties and methods. So basically uh, this is, you can easily understand like that. This is a factory which has produced a car. Let's say the factory is of Toyota and it produces a car like Innova, okay. So it produces this car, got it. So let's say this is 2020 model, okay. So after 2025, if the same model is basically launched, then there is a sure shot failure, because if you don't upgrade all those things, then it can't be sold. So basically, we inherited all the properties and just changing something new so that it can be sold out. So that's how the we are just reusing the older code which has been written over there and just adding new features in this new model. So we are just using the inherited things. So that's how inheritance is used. To we don't implement things from scratch. We have already pre-built codes and we are just adding something new so that there is a newness factor and the older one is basically blended in a product. So that's how the things of inheritance is working. So this is the basic, what should I say, this is the syntax. So if you are deriving from parent class, then you have to just use class derived and the name of the base class, which is your parent class, is written over there. So if this is the Toyota Innova 2025 public, Toyota Innova 2020. So that's how this thing has been working. So let's move forward with another thing, which is the last and the most important thing of this important pillars, is the polymorphism. So basically, poly means many, and morphism here means form. So basically, uh, one interface or one function doing uh, many things. So this is understood by a very simple example, which is in every family, every family, a person is there. Let's say this is the person. He is either a brother, a employee, or a voter for a government, and many more things. Same person is performing many tasks or many functions. So that's how the concept of polymorphism is used. So one interface, many forms. So these are the examples of polymorphism: is function overloading and overriding. I'm explaining in very brief that if you make two functions, if you make a single function, okay, and if you just sending parameters to the function and the function is changing, basically the function that you have written is changing on the behalf of your parameter. If you are sending some different parameters, then the function is performing some different task, and if you basically giving some sort of different parameters, then this overall function will execute in very different way. So that's how the overloading is used. Your task is to just go and read overriding. What is overriding? How function overrides the another function. And for that reason, if you go really in depth in encapsulation, then you, no, sorry, the inheritance part, then you got it why this is used. So let's move forward. So here I have taken an example of a car, so that what I have explained it to you, it will be very clear and stored in your memory. So car as a class. So you basically made a class which is of called car. So encapsulation means what I have told in previous slide. So basically there is a box and you just go and do two things, that you are storing a data and functions. So what kind of things that a car can store, like speed, what is the speed, and what is the gear, what is the number of the gear, like 1 2 3 4 and 5. Let's move, you can understand through this real life implementation. Let's move forward with another pillar of that oops, which is abstraction. So abstraction means you are hiding something. So you are just giving the function to the user, and the function is just used by the user without knowing the logic, how it is exactly working. So like drive, brake, when you apply brake, then you don't need to know how the braking system is working at its engine. So hiding engine details, so what exactly, which engine is using, how the pistons are moving, and how the oil is flowing through the engine, is it 2 stroke or 4 stroke, you don't need to understand all those stuffs, you're just using it. So that's how all this working. Let's move with the another inheritance. So sports car inherit with car. So I think it is quite complex to understand what it is written over there. So for example, there is a model. So in a basically a big company, like let's say BMW, okay. So in BMW, what is, they make, let's say, two types of cars. One is sedan and another is sports car. So this sports car can inherit things from this. And this, what should I say, the, I'm making it again. So let's say this is the car company, let's say BMW, okay. And they make two types of cars, okay. So first one is, let's say, sedan, and another one is sports and sedan. So this sedan, this sports car, sorry, is inheriting the property of this BMW. So that's how it is written over there. Then how a sports car is inheriting the properties of car. So while building a new sports car, it does not basically needs to building the sports car from scratch. It is just, it can use many functionalities of this main car and just using it. So let's move forward with another pillar of that oops is polymorphism. So drive different on terrain. So your car can driving in basically plain road, or let's say in mountain places or in hilly areas. So that's how the whole thing is working. So this is the code snippet that I have written over there, is that I'm explaining it to you. So the example is quite simple to understand. Like I have made a class car of name car. So this is how the uh, basically syntax of a class. So you have to just write class, and then you have to write the name of the class, and just after using a curly braces, and the curly braces should be ended with this semicolon also. You have to apply this semicolon so that a function is declared. So this is how a one function is declared, and this is the another function, sorry, the another class. This is two classes. This is the first class, and the another is this class. So let's move forward. I have written something private. What is private? So these are the all, this is called access specifier. So it means that after this class, if you want to use this speed, you can't access. So private is used. So why it is important? So basically for security purposes, nobody from other function or classes can access all those things. So for that reason, if you want to actually access all those things, then you can use getter setter methods. What are these? If you really want to know, then please comment on this. Please comment, then I will make another lecture for oops, and I will explaining how a private max members can be accessed. So this is the speed of the car. And the public means anyone can use it. But from from this classes, and after this class you can use this public, because it is quite simple to understand. Public things can be accessed from anywhere, and everyone can access all those things. Then this is the function that driving. So basically if you basically execute or uh, write drive, then it will be called from after, from outside this class. Got it? And this is the sports car that I'm basically making, and I have written public car. So overall what this line to this line is working. So basically I made another class which is inheriting the properties of this class. So basically this sports car is inheriting the properties of this class. So that's how the this is written over there. And the public and void drive is driving fast. So if you call the function of sports car, then it will be executed. And if you just calling the drive of this main car, then it will be executing this driving. So that's how whole thing is working. So this can access this private, no it can't, because it is a private member. So this can't be accessed, but it can access this public thing. So that's how whole thing is working. So this is the end of this lecture. In this very short period of time, I have explained almost all the four pillars of the oops. So if you like this video, then please subscribe my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.